Roundtable. Insight into the world of sports, all from a distinctly Canadian perspective. VIBE 105.
Hey everybody, this is Giancarlo Aulino here, VIBE Sports Roundtable, and we're back with another exciting one here. I'm happy to be joined. This was actually his idea. When the Toronto Maple Leafs got eliminated from the playoffs, we saw an interesting message on our VIBE Sports page. He's DJ Wiz. DJ Wiz, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? It's long time overdue for me to be on one of the best sports shows on radio, VIBE 105 Sports. Appreciate the love, appreciate the respect to be here. And, after this, I hope to be one of the most hated Toronto broadcasters for sports analytic when it comes to Toronto sports. Me, because Lakers, you see, Lakers.
And Wiz, had to bring up the backstory there because we saw this, got to get me on here to talk about your thoughts on everything Toronto sports. You mentioned you're a Toronto sports hater. Just when did that hatred for the Toronto team start? Curious there.
When Vince Carter left, to be honest with you. Yeah, when Vince Carter left, and I was a big Raptors fan, and I'm not to say I totally don't believe in them, but I really will come out and jump for joy when there's 1 minute left in the NBA championships and they're up by 20. And, we could definitely, I don't really glorify the win over the Warriors. I really don't. I really, really don't because of injuries. And it's part of the game. It happens. And I understand that. But I think that every championship deserves to be fully earned. Fully. It was shaky with the Warriors and the Cleveland with Kyrie having the injury, Kevin Love having the injury, and LeBron having to take them on by themselves. But, I'm going down with a fight. And I think that you should be able to fight it through to win the chip. And when Vince left, I felt like a piece of me was just crumbled. It was like, why? Why are we doing this? We're making these wrong choices. Then Tracy McGrady, we had two superstars. We had two superstars that could literally bring a championship. We just had to build a little around them. And, management and all those guys really messed it up for me. And so that was I was tired of losing. I'm just tired. I was out.
They left a sour taste.
I was like, yeah. So from there, I've been on rocky road with them. From there, I've always been a Laker fan, though. Just want to put out there. Just put out there. Kobe's a greatest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love Kobe. And just even mentioning there, Toronto sports, we hear the narrative a lot about Toronto athletes. Once their contract comes up, they think about leaving, going elsewhere. We saw with a few players, and a lot of times it's the media that they say they don't want to play because all the pressure. Do you think if they're an athlete on a Toronto sports team, they should embrace that, or do you think it's warranted when they come out and say that?
Listen, there's pressure everywhere and in every single thing that you do. Our city puts a lot of effort, a lot of respect into our teams, and they need to provide that championship accomplishment. And, kudos to the Blue Jays. But the only sports team I know that is truly solid is the Toronto Rock. They're the most solid of solid. Pressures, you get paid millions of dollars to enjoy something that you do, and people pay to watch that. And if you're lackadaisical with it, then you don't deserve to be here. The media, the fan base. I'm trying to figure the word. I'm just shocked at the fan base. They stay so consistent with the losing team. And for the life of me, I can't understand why. But kudos to the fan base of staying there. But pressure, if that's an excuse that I think some of these athletes use when it comes to Toronto sports media or sports fan base. I think it's just an excuse. Nah, they should deal with it. Strong too. Provide championships. That's what we pay for. That's what we want to see. You know what I mean? That helps the city. So pressure is an excuse.
So you think it's good though? Like all the fans are going to the games all the time. Usually when you go to other markets, like you look at teams, like their attendance goes down 30 to 40%. So I think
that's what I'm saying. The fans stay loyal. I don't understand, especially Leaf fans. Like we know Raptors fans, but Leaf fans, my goodness, I don't know how you guys could deal with it. I mean, I was once there too. I have my Leaf jerseys. I won't give them up, but nah, I can't right now. Right now, me, I'm up. Like I'm cheering from way past the bleachers on the outside across the street. Yeah, not going into the stadium for now. This is how it is.
So when the Leafs, like that collapse happened, like you were, to your credit, you were right. You knew that was going to happen. I was reluctant about that. I was going for Mitch Marner, a past guest here. He's a great guy, but you were right. So when you saw the collapse, like what happened?
I told you. Listen, I never forget. I was watching that Boston Bruins Leafs. Remember the game 7? Yeah. We're up 3-1, I believe. And there's like 3 minutes left or 4 minutes. I'm not positive, but I believe we were up and it was ready. I put on Leaf jersey. I was like, yes, I'm almost preparing to go downtown to go because we're going. And the collapse happened. I was really ready to burn my jersey. I really was. But I was like, no, because it's a Clark. So it's like, it's going to be a collector's item one day. So I'll give it to my son. He could sell it, or we could hang it on the wall or something. So, and then get it. I'm just like, when I texted you, I was like, I know this is going to happen. I know this collapse is going to happen. I'm not gearing up myself again. I mean, they nearly wrote me in, but I was like, no, let me sit back and really watch the play. And I'm watching them play, and I'm like, I don't see the killer Kobe Mamba mentality in these Leafs right now. I really don't. So I called it. Remember, I texted you before it happened. And I said, it's going to happen. I said, sit back and watch. And so said, so done. I didn't want to be right in that prediction, but I just knew it's just what Toronto does. That's the thing about it, especially the Leafs. I mean, can they make me a Leaf fan again? I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 games I could try and see. But I don't know, man. I'm really disappointed. It's down to the point where I'm hurt. Because I really did put a lot of pride in wearing, I should have brought it, but I don't have time to get up and get it. My Leaf jerseys and, just having that Toronto pride through the Leafs and thinking that this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think they are one of the most expensive franchise in the NHL, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, you got all this money, you got this fan base, you got great fans, you got a great city behind you, you got great players, and yet still you're not bringing us a chip? Like Boston? Like, come on. You could have beat Boston. Like, and when they collapse, I don't know who they collapsed against. I'm out, bro. Like, I'm done. It's just hard. It's very hard. And people could be upset. People get upset when I talk on air about the Raptors all the time, but why? I want to be on the winning side now. It's time to win. And that's what I say. It's time to win. I don't care. I didn't go to the parade either.
Oh, no, you didn't go to that?
No, did not. Nah, did not. Wasn't worth it.
What do they have to do to get you back on board? Because Kawhi Leonard, that was a big move. I would never have thought Masai Ujiri would have done that at the time.
You see what I'm saying to you? A man who is basically given the city in the palm of his hand. He probably would never have to pay mortgage or rent, never ever have to pay for food, never have to pay for any. He was just walking like the legend that he's probably going to be one day, because he went to the Clippers, so I'm not a fan. So I mean, bro, you have this city and the management, I believe they have the money. I don't know what really, in essence, I don't really want to know, I don't really know what detoured Kawhi. The rumors is his uncle / management and wanting to play in LA and stuff like that. I mean, sure, we don't have the greatest weather. Like, yeah, okay, cool. But we're also not burning down. Well, some parts of Canada, unfortunately, are burning down. But, we're not, the cities, Toronto's not burning down at this point in time. And, Kawhi is a great baller. I think it was a lucky shot. Sure. I think the bounce was great and it was awesome for Toronto and kudos to them. But, I don't know what's going to take to get me personally back there. I mean, we glorify so much wrong things, I think. But, kudos to the super fan. Navi, kudos to him for doing what he does. Drake, ambassador. All right, cool. But you're not winning you're not winning what you're supposed to win. Even some games that they're supposed to win, they don't win. And I'm like, why? Why are you not winning? Dwayne Casey, I think he was an all right coach. And I think Nick Nurse did his job. But I mean, why are we look at the new coach? Why did we go get this coach? Why not Mark Jackson? Yeah. Or maybe even Stan Van Gundy. Established championship DNA. That's where I'm saying to go. Spend that money. You have that money. Spend it and get some DNA of championship material in here, right? Dennis Schroeder, okay. I heard the rumors about Dame Lillard. Nah, don't see it happening. Maybe, but I don't see it happening. But I mean, on the outside, Canada is not a market that a lot of athletes look at, except maybe for NHL. But NBA, I don't see them really looking at it. But I mean, when you have a whole city behind you and you have everything, I don't know, I've never been in that position to be able to turn down that kind of money and that kind of, stigma as Kawhi did and walk away and just be cool with it. He has his reasons and I can't fault him for that. But for me to be a fan again, they have to bring in some championship DNA or, either or Masai has to sit down with me and let me know that, hey, it's going to get better. Wiz, it's going to get better. Have little faith. I'm a nobody still, but Masai would have to directly sit me down at a table and say, have a little faith and say, yo, this is our plans. We're going to do it. And sure, I'll be like, sure, Masai, sure. If that happens, you'll see me at 1 or 2 games. I bring my son to 1 or 2 games, but he's there to see Durant when he comes into town.
The opposing players coming in.
There you go. When I brought the last 2 Kobe games, I went to when he was here. Rest in peace. Right? And they were losses, but hey, it's Kobe. We saw Kobe. You know what I mean? I was like about six benches away from Kobe. I see them up close, and that was great. That was a good feeling. But for me to be, come back a fan of the Raptors, I need to talk to Masai directly. I have to.
And I know a place it can happen. Wizology, Monday to Friday, Masai. I think that's the perfect place for it.
Masai, make it happen. Let the call come through. We could do it. I don't have a problem. Or we could connect right here on Vibe 105 Sports. I don't have a problem. Right? But Masai has to reassure me that it's gonna happen. Right? That's it. Right then and there.
And also, you mentioned the Lakers there. So when did the love for the Lakers happen?
Oh, nah, bro. Kobe. From the day I watched Kobe play, he was in the league, 19 years, I believe. And when I saw Kobe play, his first year was a lot of air balls, a lot of, getting yelled at by the James Worthy and the Magics and those people, like telling him, hey, can't do this, can't do that. But the first chip that he won, and it was like, that was it for me. Kobe is to how Michael Jordan is to the multitudes, I go to Kobe. Because at the end of what solidified it was the end of tenure for Kobe. I watched him through all of his years, and especially through the trial of, the alleged rape charge and stuff like that. And the whole him and Shaq incident. He stuck with his team. He stayed loyal. He took the beatings, the bumps. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes. And let me clear the air for those who said he requested a trade. Kobe didn't officially request a trade. Kobe went into the office and basically told them that if you're not going to get players that I could win with or uplift this team, I'm out, which makes sense. Yeah. So at least he had enough guts to put the office on check, right? And he could have done that, and also they could have said, yo, well, goodbye, forget you, you're out. But this is Kobe. There had to have been something they saw that they knew. And when he got Gasol and when he got, the affiliates around him, man was a beast. So I've been a Laker fan ever since. And honestly, James Worthy is a player I respect too. He stayed quiet on the sidelines, but he did so much work, right? He was absolutely a power towards the championships of Lakers, James Worthy. So a lot of people don't know that, I respected James Worthy a lot. And his work ethic was just like a silent assassin. He just dealt with what he had to deal with. And although he didn't get the accolades and, he wasn't all NBA, and he played his part and his role to make sure it worked out, like many others, right? I mean, when Byron Scott was there, he was the same thing, you know what I mean? But James Worthy was a player to me that was overlooked a lot by a lot of people. It's like Scottie Pippen to Jordan. That's why Scottie's probably fighting for his accolades now, right? I mean, Jordan gets full credit all the time, but he didn't win alone. Like, honestly, Jordan didn't beat all the other players by himself on there. Steve Kerr, Kukoc, and all them, Horace Grant, they were all part of that, right? But the franchise got players around the key players to make it work, which is what I think is lacking with the Toronto franchise. And from Kobe's perspective, when he stood firm up against the Laker franchise and says we could win, and he guaranteed it, and he did it. Man of his word, he did it. We can't go around that. And to me, it was from there. Kobe's the Mamba mentality lives through me. Like, we're going to get pushed, pulled, talked about, disrespected, everything to bring us down, but we're going to stand firm into what we believe in, like it or not. We speak. You don't like it, don't listen. You know what I mean? Mamba mentality.
And also you bring up like Kobe, because I know people listening to this right now will probably say, oh, he likes the Lakers, like they always win, but they did have a bad year there where they could have won against Detroit, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. So you've gone through, there's some tribulations there. So adversity, what are your thoughts on that?
I've stayed firm. I mean, we had what they called a super team. Gary Payton, and they thought it was a super team, right? It was not. I don't, to be fair, I didn't educate myself analytically to see what the faults were, but I'm thinking ego could have been a thing. making the team not gel to how it should have gelled, right? And I mean, it was a super team. Like, it's supposed to fly through. But these Pistons were sick with it, right? And rough and tough and grits. So kudos to them for doing. And I tell people all the time, I went through those times. You know what I mean? Those times when I was still a Laker fan, I went through those bumps, those bruises. Look how much years we were out of the playoffs. You know, getting our face kicked off by teams that we shouldn't be. Like, the Raptors are a basic kryptonite to the Lakers. The Raptors. Like, it's difficult for a Laker team to beat the Raptors. So even in the bubble, I was petrified to face the Raptors. Like, it's not because I was turning a Raptor fan. I'm thinking that the Raptors just have this thing to beat the Lakers. And it doesn't matter the generation. They just beat them until, you know, I mean, Kobe gave y'all 81, but, you know, from those times, it's been Raptors have had the ticket for the Lakers, right? So, I mean, but I've been through the ups and downs, and I take the beatings and the lumps. And the biggest beating I took was LeBron joining the Lakers, because, you know me, I was a LeBron hater. The biggest
LeBron hater, though?
Oh, I was listen, I would tweet to LeBron.
Oh, boy.
I don't like you. I like, yo, you're not no GOAT. You're not the GOAT. You don't provide this. You don't provide that. And, hey, Kobe said, remember when LeBron came in to join the Lakers, like, even the LA fans were skeptical. We're skeptical about it, right? And Kobe said, we're a team, and he's part of the team. We have to encourage him. So I haven't become a LeBron fan. I've become a LeBron teammate to encourage LeBron, because the organization comes first. Lakers come first. LeBron accolades come second. Kudos for him for the scoring record and all that he's done. And I mean, the team brought us a championship. I don't believe LeBron alone brought this championship. Anthony Davis, critical. But I think one of the most critical points of our championship, the Laker bubble championship, was Caruso.
Yeah, he was good.
He was, yes. And then Rondo. Rondo's dictatorship of the game and the skillfulness that he has to how to send the ball to people in the right positions, critical. And this is why I'm not saying, like, listen, LeBron's great. I can't take that away from him. Give the man his credit is due. But this is a Laker organization, not a LeBron organization. Like, Cleveland was a LeBron organization. This is the Lakers. Lakers, we are, what are we tied with Boston for the most, 18 championships?
Yeah, I think it's close.
Yeah, at this point in time. And this year, well, like every year I expect a championship, but this year I expect a championship. We got the young, running, gritty guys to go. LeBron is in tremendous shape. He's looking like he's in tremendous shape. I mean, he's a skilled player. I don't think he's as feared as Kobe or maybe, you know, some others. I don't think he's as feared as those, but he gets the job done and he does what he's supposed to do, right? So, you know, Kobe said, hey, if he's part of the team, we need to start cheering. So we have to flip the script and start cheering him, of course. But if he loses that, we're going to give it to him.
Gets a whole Laker treatment there.
Whole Laker treatment. Like, just go into your house and stay there. Don't come out. That's how it is.
What do you think of, because this is a touchy topic, like, did you really think he was retiring, or do you think this could have been like a marketing ploy to get more interest on the team next year?
Nah, I think if he goes out, I think he'll go out with a bang. And I think this is his last year. I think that this is his last year, hence why we're making all these movements and these trades, and some of them are good. And there's still more trades to come. I really think that he would like Damian Lillard to come over. I really thought he would like Kyrie to come. I really did. I think that whole LeBron-Kyrie feud. I also think with what happened to his son, unfortunately, might have changed his narrative to play with his son.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he don't really need the money. Like he's set, right? And the son don't need the money. It's just something he wants to do. And I would hope that they would choose health over wealth, because at the end of the day, that's all it's going to do is just make you more wealthy, and you're already wealthy. And I don't want to stop the kid from enjoying life, but that's a serious thing that happened, you know? And I wouldn't want to see, you know, it happen again. You know, you got through something once and God has truly blessed you, and, you know, you're back on your feet. So that's me and what I would think, but I think the retirement is a thing that's probably discussed. I mean, he's going into year, 21 now?
Yeah.
Right?
3 to 24.
Yeah.
Long time.
You know what I mean? Long time. And I mean, he's not as quick, of course. I mean, that's just how it is, but he's still getting up there, and he's still running, and you know, you're never going to beat Father Time or Mother Time, whatever you want to call it, but he's really working with them. But I don't think it was any kind of, I think after the South Beach thing, I don't think he's about that. At least I would hope not. But I really think that he honestly is considering retirement. I think what's left to do but to win another chip? You know what I mean? So that's what his goal is. And I think that they could do it if Anthony Davis stopped playing like he's playing on glass. You know,
yeah,
like
getting injured every 2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds.
Would help.
Yeah. Certainly. Like, that's just how it is. And we're getting a little bit tired of that too. You know, so he knows. And trust me, Davis knows. Davis is probably gonna get injured and have to play with that injury. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is, because we're kind of tired of that. Like, you know, it's like the whole flopping at soccer. Tired of it. But I don't think it was really, like, I want to give him that much credit. I don't think that he really pulled it as any ploy to start anything. I think I'm not sure if he could announce he's retiring. Because remember,
sure. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Because you remember when Mamba did it, it was like people just came they cheered against even their home team.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who they were playing. It was like, yo, you know, and there were some games that were like, I'm not going to say thrown. Kobe just like, you're allowed to shoot because it doesn't matter. We drop a play, it's Kobe. The ball's coming, it's going to Kobe. Everything's Kobe. And his farewell tour is just like, people are just coming to see him. I don't think you'll ever get a farewell tour like that again. And with LeBron going to announce, okay, this is my last year, I think he has to announce it towards the end of the season.
Like the playoffs type of thing.
Like maybe the playoffs. And say, yeah, this is my last run kind of thing. I think that people should feel that this is his last year. So if you have an opportunity to go see him, yeah, go out and go see him. Right. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think it was really, I'm hoping, I don't see it as a little gimmick that he did. I think that he generally is thinking about it, you know, and I would say that he wanted to stay as long as he could because he did want that whole son in the thing. But I think the son going through the incident, it would change me, but that's just me. Yeah. So I think it should change him, you know, so he should look at it a lot and say, you know what, don't really need that. So maybe this could be his last year. I think this is last year. I think so. I think it is.
Do you think he's just chasing that? I know the narrative there, him and Michael Jordan, but do you think that's a lost cause trying to do that? Like him winning another championship, does that change the whole argument on that?
No, won't change the argument. I mean, some people have him as the GOAT already. Statistically, he is. The reason that I think that he doesn't get the GOAT status is because of how the league has changed. If you ever seen some of those games that Jordan had to go through, and the flu game, going through Detroit, when you're going up against Bill Laimbeer and those people, you're getting crushed. Fouls aren't getting called. Dennis Rodman, they're elbowing, they're grabbing and they're elbowing. And if you take it in the nose, your nose broken, go to the sideline, chill. Next player comes in. In this day and age, the league is soft. Like you put your finger on foul. Like it's and they're trying to protect so much, and I get it, but it's soft. So to me, that's what, in my opinion, that is what the GOAT status doesn't reach LeBron. I mean, and besides that, Jordan, 6 championships with the Bulls. Kobe, 5 championships with the Lakers. LeBron now had to leave Cleveland, matched up with a couple other superstars, tried to control the narrative of bringing this person in and bringing that person in. It didn't sit well with, I think, a lot of people. That's my personal opinion. So, you didn't see the other superstars who took the lumps and the bruises to get the championship really do that. And I think that's probably what's not being discussed. Statistically, though, he beats Jordan in a lot of statistics, right? But the perception to me is, can't be the GOAT. Like, I literally have Jordan with Kobe like half a hair, under him, and then LeBron's way down, then there's a big separation gap. You know what I mean? There's some superstars out there that didn't win championships that are really, really great, and it's unfortunate. I mean, listen, if you really talk about GOAT and you're looking at chips, then you have to give it to Russell. Yeah. Or even Robert Horry. Yeah.
He went everywhere.
Robert Horry is a GOAT. Like Spurs, Lakers,
Rockets too.
He's just winning chips. So, big shot Bob. You know what I mean? GOAT status because he has chips. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like Phil Jackson's the GOAT of the coaches, right? Supposed to be. You know what I mean? So, but me personally, I think Pat Riley is, the GOAT of coaches. But LeBron's status as GOAT, sure, some people have him as that. This new generation and stuff like that is like, LeBron is LeBron. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. I choose Kobe over LeBron, and I'm just going to stick to that. Good or bad, they can fight me out all they want. I'm sticking with Kobe.
I'm glad you brought up the Lakers because joining us now, Michael Asiffo, our other contributor here in the VIBE Sports page. He's a Laker fan too.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much Laker fans, but I don't know why they don't come out in the public in the top. Why we have to be? I'm not scared. I will listen. If I had gone to that Toronto parade, my Laker hat, my Lake Kobe shirt would be shining. I care zero. I don't care. Michael, power to the Lakers.
I hear him. I don't know if I'm with wearing the Lakers hat or Raptors parade. I don't know about that part. But you gotta be prideful in your team, for sure.
For sure.
Michael, like, what are your thoughts on LeBron? Like, Wiz was talking about LeBron, like how this could possibly be his last year, but won't announce it because, like, what it would maybe do to the other teams. We saw with Kobe's farewell tour. Like, do you think this could be LeBron's last year?
I mean, well, the whole thing was I always thought, at least theoretically in my mind, that he was going to wait until his son played in the league, play one last year with his son wherever that team was. So it wouldn't necessarily even be the Lakers. It would just be whatever team drafted LeBron Jr. and then go from there, or Bronny for short. But then with Bronny's recent health issues, he went to cardiac arrest. It's a little more up in the air. And because it's more up in the air, at year 2021, he's already passed the record for the most points of all time. He's got 4 championships to his name. Does he really have much more to prove? And is he motivated? Because I think the whole Michael Jordan discussion, I think we've all come to a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of an impasse on this point where if you think LeBron's the best, nothing is going to change your mind on that, no matter what LeBron does. And if you think Jordan's the best, nothing is going to change your mind, no matter what LeBron does from this point on. LeBron could win 8 championships, but because he didn't do it in the same amount of time Jordan did, you're going to think Jordan's better. Or if you thought LeBron was better, it would just cement the legacy, right? So I think at this point, LeBron is kind of struggling for motivation now that, his son most likely will never. And I say that, like, respectfully. I want to say this as respectfully as I can. Probably isn't going to play another minute of high level basketball again after what happened, barring any kind of miracle. So, and you hope for miracles for sure. And I want to be as respectful as I can about this, but yeah, it looks like it's not going to be a thing. And so I think I would probably say he would retire.
An interesting one too, because the Lakers loading up, Damian Lillard's name's out there, but he kind of insinuated he wants to only go to Miami. So I'll ask Wiz this first. Do you think his hands are tied here, the GM of the Portland Trail Blazers, that he only wants to go to Miami, or you think the Lakers could swoop in here and get Damian Lillard?
The Lakers can. They could swoop in and get Damian Lillard, but you're going up against the Don of Dons, Pat Riley. You don't go up against Pat Riley and win usually. Like on the court, yes. But in that management area, I have my doubts. So if he says Miami, I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way. I mean, Portland can only hold out for so long, because if he's not happy over there, then what's the sense? But I do believe, I mean, I don't know why. I think a lot of people don't want to play under the shadow of LeBron. I think that could be it. But Damian Lillard has talk because he could ball. So he has talk. He could say what he wants to say and put pressure on, not the total disagreement with LeBron, but tell him, okay, that might not work, and LeBron might listen. So I think that's where it is. I think the Lakers do have a very slight chance. I don't see it going humongously, but I mean, this is Pat Riley. That's the only reason. If Pat Riley wasn't the kingpin who he is, then I would say the Lakers have like almost a 75% chance. Right now I'm putting at 40, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Michael, do you think, I don't know, the Lakers, who would you think they would have to send over if you're the Lakers GM?
Well, it looks like Portland's going to be very stingy. So it looks like they would probably have some sort of package that has to include some sort of either up and comer, like let's say in the vein of, I would say it would have to be even better than Austin Reeves. I would have to say, like, if it is on a deal centered around Austin Reeves, it would have to include a couple picks for down the line, or it'd have to be straight up AD. I think Portland has made it very clear that they are not trading Lillard to be fleeced. They are not going to be fleeced. They want to make a good deal. And just because it's out there that Lillard wants to be traded does not mean that he's going to be traded. And I think a lot more teams are going to have to stand their ground and be like, listen, you're a trailblazer. You're in the case of Harden, 76er. You're a Brooklyn Net, whatever it may be, what have you. And you're going to stay that way until we can either A, find a good deal for you, or your contract runs out. Too bad, Give them the Vince McMahon, Shawn Michaels treatment, and that's just kind of the way it goes. Unless the Lakers are willing to pay up and kind of sort of in a way fleece themselves, right?
I think it's going to be interesting to even look at James Harden's situation, because he's another player who kind of forced his way to the 76ers, and now he's at odds with the owner and wants out. So, Wiz, what do you think about the whole James Harden situation?
And Harden can't be happy anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put Harden. And I don't want his toxic place. Like, people say Kyrie's toxic, and I don't see it. I really, really don't. And I think Kyrie is one of the best handles. I mean, Steph Curry is awesome, but Kyrie is one of the best. And Harden is good, really, really good. But he just can't be. He got himself out of Houston. He got himself out of OKC, got himself to Brooklyn, and he doesn't produce. He does not produce the chip that he's probably capable of, but he's so, and I don't know. He's like a walking time bomb. I think he's just going into to take on the Philly and the affiliates of Philly. Sure, he wants out. Cool, get him out of there. He's going. I mean, or they're going to stay fast because they're going to want some super duper trades, because James Harden is good. He's a good player. I'm just trying to figure if he's making anybody around him better, because he's not winning. You know what I mean? So that's my confusion. And I mean, he did it. He's doing it, in the public eye, right? To try to get out of there as best as he can. I don't know where he wants to go, though. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to the Lakers, everybody's going to the Lakers. If you were crazy enough to follow social media, they have everybody lined up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's lined up to be a Laker, because the franchise is flashy. And really, I don't see it happening. It could. I don't see it happening, but it could, right? As anything could happen in the league. I mean, I think a team that he would probably really fit into is Boston. It'd be scary, very scary to him to be able to dish the ball off to Brown or to Tatum, and they have Porzingis in there now. So they're really situated. But is he trying to make his way to Houston back again? I don't know. I give up with Harden. I can't with Harden. It's just, I just think he goes anywhere. He's just not happy anywhere. I don't know. So I don't know where he could be. I'm not really sold on him coming to the Lakers, to be honest with you, but maybe Michael has more insight on that. I don't see it happening.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate. This isn't something I necessarily agree with, but it's based on things I've heard, things that were told to me. So James Harden at the beginning of the season was told, hey, if you sacrifice some points, you're a little more efficient with the ball, we will give you a max contract. That's apparently what's out there. You can look it up on social media. I've been hearing it from some people. I'm not going to reveal names, but that's what he was told, right? And sure enough, he does that. I thought, in my honest opinion, it was a travesty he didn't make the All-Star team. I don't know any other player who has a 2010 season on 60% true shooting who doesn't make an All-Star team, quite frankly. Okay. So he did what they asked, and, he did okay in the playoffs. Like, I know everyone talks about the famous Game 7 where, he quite frankly didn't show up, but he did. Sorry, Game 6 against Boston where he didn't show up, but he was pretty good up until that point, and he was expecting a max deal. And from what I've heard was he was silent. Daryl Morey and the front office brass of the 76ers not only were not offering him the max contract per se, but they were very silent. And the theory I have is that they were silent on purpose to get him to opt into his deal, which in today's cap, because the cap raised, would be a very huge underpay for a person of James Harden's caliber, right? And so if you're James Harden and you saw Jaylen Brown, who has no left hand, apparently, get 300 over 4, and you are one of the best scorers of our generation, who was told to sacrifice and will get a max contract deal, and was radio silent, so you were kind of hamstrung into opting in to a deal, you're going to think the organization you work for are liars, are schemers, have bad business practices, and you're going to explore your options to leave, right? And there's the added benefit that the organization knows you're going to look like a complainer because this is your third time forcing your way out of a situation in 4 years, right? So there's the devil's advocate part, right? But at the same time, you didn't show up against Philadelphia. You haven't been to a finals. And despite being one of the greatest scorers of our generation, you go cold in the playoffs when teams really need you not to go cold most. Who can forget the 0 for 27 against San Antonio? Who can forget that Game 7 against Golden State, right? Granted, there are circumstances as to why those things happen that are outside James Harden's control, but the circumstances are the circumstances, right? You need to get it done. You need to get it done. And I think at some point, right, yes, the organization is crappy. Yes, they have bad business practices. Yes, there are things that are hard done by. But it's not like we're talking about a league that, is in the vein of, let's say, the UFC that, we as a person who's trying to get there, I have to kind of hold my tongue a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But you have your, the NBA is pretty good in comparison to a lot of other leagues. And I think at some point you have to say, hey, yes, these things suck, but you're a 76er and that's it. And you got to ball out and rebuild your reputation, right? In some ways, I blame Kawhi Leonard because when Kawhi Leonard, the quiet guy, does it, now everybody thinks they can do it, right?
That's our guy, Kawhi. He brought us a championship, so he can load manage all he wants. I'm still going to be a fan just because he gave us that memory that likely won't happen in the near future. But before we close this portion of the round table, I want to give our listeners and viewers here on our page get to know Wiz, like how we can follow you, how can we stay up to date with your show every week there on Vibe 105.
Yeah, just keep it locked and tuned to Vibe 105 every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. It's the best reggae show on air, I hands down. And, I thank Vibe and the Vibe staff for giving me the opportunity to be the first ever Canadian reggae show 5 days a week. So it's an accomplishment. Follow me on Instagram at Wizology Show. My memes are crazy. Just like myself, I give you the best up-to-date news stories as well as reggae and dancehall music. And it's just been a pleasure to be able to be on Vibe and to be able to have so much fan base and so much listenership. And I'm a big fan of Vibe 105 Sports, and I want to thank you for having me on. And I say we advocate for Michael to UFC. I say we directly parade that because I'll be right there cheering. So when you win the championship, I get to take a picture with him. I want a signed T-shirt as well, just like my Jamal Murray T-shirts that I have signed. And it's just been a pleasure to be here. And I finally got to say my piece on, my haterade for our franchises that disappoint us all the time.
Highly recommend that follow. And we got to go Masai there. Like you were talking about there, he has to talk to you personally. So if Masai goes on Wizology,
straight up,
we got to get that on. Got to get
Masai going.
We need Masai. So for me to come back, go Raptors, go? Nah. Masai, I need to talk to Masai.
We'll give Michael final thoughts here. You're also training, clanging and banging in the gym, teaching kickboxing. So how can everyone stay up to date with everything you're doing?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Michael Asiffo, Asiffo. Twitter, same thing. Michael Asiffo, Asiffo is the last name there. So, you can follow me on both of those platforms. I'm pretty active on Instagram, and pretty receptive there. And yeah, that's basically kind of where you can reach me. In terms of other platforms and other things, I don't believe I got anything going yet, but we'll keep you updated on those platforms there.
We'll get to that UFC. Who's that? Dana?
Get him there.
Yeah, we got to get him there. We got to get him there.
Calling him Dana
maybe if I go on a bit of a win streak, it'll happen. We'll see.
We got to get Dana over to talk to Wizology show. We got to get him.
We'll get Dana on.
Right away.
Contender series in the future. Got to get that happen.
Got to make that happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's been another edition here of our roundtable. Hopefully we'll continue this going. We'd like to thank Wiz for coming up with the idea of it, because if he didn't respond to that Toronto Maple Leaf collapse, the idea wouldn't have been made. So Wiz, thank you for the idea of picking up these roundtables. Appreciate that. Mike, appreciate you as always coming in and chatting it up with sports here. And for all our listeners and viewers, stay up to date with the VIBE Sports page, Vibe105_sports.
Vibe Talks exclusively on Vibe 105.